Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz on April 19, 2017, 1233 a.m. in Birmingham. And I have some backpedaling to do. I made some errors that I want to clear up right now. I have been all along on target since I started doing any prophecy videos. And I have allowed myself to be misled just in the last year. And I'm going to tell you why I was misled and how I kind of fell into it. But let's start back with the wise men. I said they traveled 2 years to get to Jesus. They did. But they started before the light or the star in the sky that led them to where he was. They didn't start on the eve that he was born. They arrived on the eve just after he was born. They traveled 2 years. And I know that. I've known that all along. But I'm trying to find a 2-year discrepancy. And when I see this, aha, that's it. Well, I'm wrong. And let me move on. Israel was born in May 5, 1947. A generation, as we think we know, is 70 years. And that no one can really truthfully tell you that it is. It could be 70, 72, 74, 76 years. It could be 68 years. But let me get into that. If the generation is 70 years, then you go back to May 5 in 1947, and then 57, 67, 77, 87, 97, that's 50 years. 2007, 60 years. 2017, 70 years is a generation. 2017. Now, the year for Israel is 5777. In biblical terms and God's meaning for his numbers, 5 is the grace period ends. When does it end? It ends at 777. It is finished. It is complete. We are ready to pull the curtains and let the final few years play out. 5777, and they will move to 5778 prior to September 23, 2017. And here that date is back in the news. Keep in mind, the moon is at her feet, at Virgo's feet. The moon, who is the moon? Remember, who is the moon? It's Allah. That's the name, the moon. He's a fake god. He's a moon rock. He is Allah. He is a little g. He is a Elohim. Also, September 23rd, 2017, what will occur when this planet exits will be in the daytime, not at night. And with it being in the daytime, it makes a lot of sense because the sun is clothing her. The sun is not clothing her at night. It's clothing her in the daytime as the child is born. So the moon at the feet, Allah, false prophet, Satan, the feet, and his heel was bruised by the feet. Jesus was nailed to the cross through the heels. The feet aren't laid on top of each other and nailed through it. They were on the planks, and the nails went inside the side of the heel into the plank, into the cross beam. Jesus was nailed through the feet. And why is that important? David killed Goliath. He killed a Nephilim. He killed the offspring of the watcher. They were still there. David killed him, but he had direct orders from an angel to take that head off of that giant and you go bury it. Where did he bury it? He buried it on the mountain or on the hill, Golgotha. Where was the cross put in place when Jesus was nailed to it? It was on Golgotha. The base of the cross, where Jesus' feet were bruised by the heel of the head of the serpent. So we're on track so far. And Anthony Patch, I don't know this guy, I've heard the name, but he said, effective immediately, that he announced that Nimrod and some angels are being built today with using the DNA of Nimrod. I said that to you years and years ago, that Nimrod, his DNA would be reintroduced along with man DNA because he was he was an offspring of the watcher angels and the daughters of men. But he began to be a Nephilim. He was changing into a Nephilim. This is why they cut him up in so many pieces. All the pieces were found but one. But Anthony Patch said right now at CERN that they are rebuilding Nimrod, remaking him. And when did that start? Could have started around December 23rd. We don't know. Gestation on any way you look at it would probably be about the same as it is today, regardless what it is in a human Nephilim, daughter of men, hybrid. In New York, a buildup of Muslims, a major buildup, has been occurring for the last several months, and it has been ramped up. And with all the above, seemed like it kind of came together just in the last 90 days, and that's the only time period that I said or indicated that we may have more than 2 years. I said I believe Trump had to finish out a term. Well, there's been dreams out the yin-yang from different people that they see Obama, that he said, and he did say, he would be president again. That can happen if Donald Trump is raptured with a church. Okay, and there's more. Keep in mind, 2 Chronicles 7:14, that prayer went on 5 years and 8 months for me. I've not stopped it, by the way, but when Trump was president, when he was called president, named president that night on November 8th, prayer can again extend time. And for the righteous, for those who have not yet come in, chances are it will be extended for a time. Therefore, extending the grace period, extending the 5 of the 5777. And besides this, Russia and the United States, and you've heard about this, beginning to push at each other a little bit. Look what happened today or hours ago in Alaska. We had 2 warplanes, fighters. They had 2 that we confronted right off the Alaskan coast. They did make a U-turn and go back, by the way. So Russia, again, it seems like they're bringing ships in to where our ships are. They can't beat us. Russia, Iran, Turkey together cannot beat us. The Bible does tell us that no country will stand with God's people. But that is speaking of Armageddon. And that's true. No country will be with Israel. But what about the upcoming battle of Ezekiel 38-39? I believe since that is such a very short war, like a 12-hour period, there will not be a lot of time for people to reset and be ready for that. That may occur this year. Very, very likely. Syrian importance, as I mentioned to you the other night, to Russia is huge. If Assad, their president, is taken out of Syria and Syria crumbles, then there will be countries going in, taking spoils of war. Israel only wants access to her borders with Syria. And why is that important to Israel? Israel has a buttload of natural gas to sell, and they'll sell it cheap. And they will cut hundreds of miles off the route of that pipeline. They're going through their part of spoils of war, but taking part of Syria is their own, which is theirs anyway. They can offer Ukraine, Romania, Poland, Hungary, and other countries a limitless supply of cheap natural gas that most certainly they will take. Russia's income on the country, most of it is based upon the natural gas and the oil that they sell to those very countries today. Georgia, one of those countries, will turn on a dime to take up Israel's offer for natural gas and oil. Israel has so much natural gas, they can give it free for the next 100 years and not diminish their supply. A lot of people don't know this. That will be a reason for an Ezekiel 38-39 war. In Iran, they're itching to go into battle. They want to so bad, so they'll be there. Turkey is kind of the gateway, the waterway for Russia. They will join Russia. All three and others who join them will be defeated in 12 hours. So that is a very legitimate reason that Russia sees that they have to stop Israel from ending the inflow of hundreds of billions of dollars a year. They could interrupt that, and that would make Russia mad, to say the least. Guys, I'm saying my thoughts of Trump being president for four years is still likely, still a possibility, especially if our prayer can extend the time. But that doesn't change the fact that they're in year 5777. 5777. But they'll be in the year 5 for some time. You know that. But it is also the year the grace period is over for Christianity to come to Christ freely. What I'm saying here, do not wait and see what happens. Regardless if we feel like we're going 20 more years or not, still tonight, your soul may be required by God. Doesn't mean God will get your soul. Just mean He requires it. And if you're not ready, then your soul's not going to God. It's going into the same place that God built for Satan and his angels. It's a fiery pit that never goes out. Don't wait. Assume. Again, assumption has always been the mother of all screw-ups. But now, assume that tomorrow's your last day. And if it's not, and you accept Christ, then you're not worried about the last day because it's on your side. One last thing, that horse that you ride back here behind Jesus is your horse, your gift in heaven by God. You know how these things that you can get on self-balancing, they can't tip over? Horse is the same way. Two things he's got. He can fly. He's yours. While he can fly, he can also make 1,000,000 adjustments a second to keep you from falling off. You can ride through anywhere you want to ride through, heavens, valleys, over the mountains. That horse will not let you fall off of him. But be ready. Be ready before tomorrow, but certainly before September 23. All bets are off. That day, that time has a whole new meaning right now, today. Too many things points at that 70 years for Israel, that generation shall see that end. And then year 57, 77, completion, period of grace, accepted Christ is now over. Jody Wolf, Expoz.